comic book fans, and welcome to another suddenlycomics.com video. And it is time for my 10 Spec Comics for May 2022. So I've been doing this for nearly a year. I think next month I can review my first selection and see how they've done. So the intention here is I'm going to pick 10 comics I think could increase in value in the next 12 months. And in 12 months time, I will review them and see how I have done. Right, so we're going to kick off straight away. And it's giant size XMen #1. Are you crazy, you say? No, this is not the original one. This is a facsimile edition from 2019. Looks really great, doesn't it? But you can tell it's a facsimile edition because it says $4.99 at the top. Why am I putting this on the spec? Because unless you've got a spare $20,000 to $30,000 sitting around, you're probably never going to own a giant-sized X-Men #1. And I've been saying for a few months, I think these reprints of classic Marvel comics are worth picking up. You can probably pick this up for between $5 and $10 now. I think this is a good medium to long-term spec, and hopefully it'll go up a bit in the next 12 months. We will see. Right, next up, what am I suggesting next? It's another relatively cheap pickup if you want to pick it up. It's Kazaa the Savage. So Kazaa the Savage, this dates from 1981. It's a #1, and I think it's possible that we are going to see the Savage lands in the MCU, and if we see the Savage lands, possibly we will see Kazaa appearing. You can still pick this up. I've got about 4 copies of this. I just seem to attract them. But you can probably pick a raw copy of this up between $5 and $10. If you want a 9.8, I think the 9.8s are $100. There you go. Kazaa the Savage potentially, I think, could increase in the next 12 months. Right. Next up, it is New Mutants 45. Why am I? And I do like this cover. There's a couple of things going for this comic. The first is it's one of these Marvel 25 year covers, which has got all the characters, the Marvel characters, in a frame around the comic. Now these are actually increasing in value, these comics with this frame. So that's the first thing it's going for it. Second thing it's going for it is it's got a great story in here, and at the end of it, Kitty Pryde gives a speech in which she uses very non-politically correct language. I think it's a really good story, and I think the speech is pretty powerful. But go and find a copy for this for yourself because it's not expensive. What are we talking about here? 9.8, $120. You can probably pick a raw up for $5. I think the artwork on here is Barry Windsor Smith. So, you know, I think this is a really interesting comic. Right, next up, and we have got Rocket Raccoon #1. Okay, we have got the 3rd Guardians of the Galaxy film coming up, and it is rumoured that possibly we are going to get the origin of Rocket Raccoon, in which case all things Rocket Raccoon will go up. This comic is from 1985, and it is the first solo series, solo title with Rocket Raccoon. Really nice artwork. What are you going to pay for this? Well, a 9.8 will set you back about $200, and a high grade raw about $50. But I think this is good spec. Rocket Raccoon #1 from 1985. Okay, next up, and we have got a Bronze Age comic. It's not one that people are very familiar with because the character is not that well known, but it is a really super looking comic called The Cat. The character here eventually develops into Tigra. So this was a sort of short mini series. I think there were 4 of them from 1972. So early Bronze Age, and pretty rare comic. What will you pay for this? So Cat #1. So a 6.5, the fair market value is $200. I picked up this raw copy for about $30 to $40. There you go. That's my next comic I think could increase in value in the next 12 months. Right, next up, and this is one that I think is under most people's radar. It's a DC comic, and it is Justice League America 110. What is special about this, you ask? Well, it features the death of Santa Claus. No, kidding. That is not what's special about this comic. Although Santa appearances do make a comic collectible, this is the second appearance of John Stewart. Yeah, the Green Lantern known as John Stewart. This is his second ever appearance, believe it or not, and his first appearance in Justice League America. So this is a cheap book to pick up. Second appearance of John Stewart. I would say you can pick up a high grade raw of this for $30, and I've checked eBay. A sort of CGC 7.0 will cost you about $140. I think this is pretty good spec. Green Lantern is getting its own series, so second appearance of a pretty major character, John Stewart, in here. Right. Now then, this book has begun to get hot already, but I think it can get a lot hotter. You are going to see some Fantastic Four spec from me in the coming months because we are getting the Fantastic Four in the MCU. This one has got a bit hot. This is Fantastic Four 245. Why is this getting hot? Because this features the first appearance of Avatar, who is a grown-up Franklin Richards. So in the Doctor Strange movie, we did see John Krasinski as Reed Richards, and in it he did say he had a wife and a family. So we know Franklin Richards is in the MCU, and this is the first appearance of him as an adult. In this comic, he sort of ages himself, turns into Avatar, but it does get resolved by the end of the comic. Good comic. I think this is John Byrne artwork. Nice little comic here. This is still cheap. I reckon it's a bit hot at the moment, so for a raw, you want to buy this raw. There's very few graded copies because this has just hit people's radar. You'll pay between, it's very variable, $15 and $40 at the moment. A good Fantastic Four spec here. Right, another one that is cheap as chips and hugely undervalued. We've got Sandman coming to Netflix sometime. Seem to have been waiting for it forever. And there are some Sandman issues that are just horribly, horribly undervalued. And this is one of them in my view. It is a great comic, great story, great artwork, fantastic cover. You can pick it up for less than $5. Why? I don't know. Go and buy it. It is Sandman number 50, Ramadan. It's got this beautiful bronze cover. I've not seen many covers of comics with this colour of bronze on it before. This is, of course, is the 90s. I suspect this was expensive to do, which is why you don't see comics with this beautiful cover. It's got a lovely background as well. The story is great. Go and buy this for, I saw one on eBay for £1.50 plus postage. I've already got 4 copies of this. I might go out and get some more. It is horribly undervalued. Sandman series coming soon to Netflix. This could well be an episode in an upcoming series of Sandman. Right, next up, another first appearance. And we talked about John Stewart, who was obviously an African-American hero in DC. But who was the first African-American superhero to get his own series? I'll tell you. It was Black Lightning. And here we go. This is Black Lightning #1. This is the first appearance of Black Lightning, the first African-American superhero with his own series. I mean, it was short-lived. I think there were only 4 issues of this. But I think this is a key comic. And this is still really cheap. What have I got down here? Black Lightning #1, a 9.6. Fair market value is $270. And you can pick up a raw copy of this for $40 to $50. Go and find one. I think this has got some way to go. Hugely valued key in my humble opinion. Right, and my last pick for May 2022, it is Excalibur #1. Right, this is the first in the run of Excalibur. I was horrified to discover how cheap this was. I picked it up really cheaply. I paid about $10. You can get raws of this for between $10 and $20, high grade raw, and a 9.8 will only cost you $100. This dates from 1988. Okay, so I think this is an undervalued #1. And it is the final comic in my selection for May 2022. Let's wait 12 months and see how I did. That's your lot. See you next month.